Hey guys, this is Pete with Airbrush Events. Today I'm going to show you how I clean my airbrushes. Now this system might be a little controversial because because of the type of cleaner that I use, but I have to say it's probably the most effective way to clean my airbrushes. I have over 50. That's 8 different airbrush setups. So a lot of times after a large event I have to clean quite a few. I don't clean them every event, but I'd say probably if I have to store them and leave the paints in storage for a while, absolutely I'll clean the airbrush out before I do that. But for regular use, maybe I can do, I don't know, maybe half a dozen to 10 events before I absolutely need to clean them. But I try to streamline this process as much as possible. You're willing to take whatever tips that you like, and please offer some advice in the comments. Thanks. For starters, this is my airbrush setup. I simply put it on a mop sink, and I have a bucket. The bucket really is just to keep the sink clean because a lot of paint gets splattered. This is the cleaner I use, believe it or not, carburetor cleaner. A lot of people are gonna probably say, well, it's gonna ruin your O-rings or your Teflon seal inside the airbrush, but I've been using it for about 3 years now, never had a problem. And it simply just takes everything out, dried paint and everything. It's amazing. It's as if it won't allow it to stick to metal. Use that, and then this is optional, a little WD-40 in the trigger to keep it lubricated. Now I do t-shirts, maybe WD-40 wouldn't be advisable if you're doing automotive work because you want to stay away from oils, but with t-shirts it's not so critical. Anyway, so I'm going to put the camera down here and get started. So the process is the same for each color, obviously. First I take the bottle off the gun and I just purge the paint out into the bucket. And by the way, if you don't have a shop sink, you could just do this outside. Fill the bucket with water, and that way you don't need running water to rinse out the airbrush. So once I get all the paint out, I'll rinse it out with water. Just try to get most of the paint out. And from there, take the back out, pull the needle out, and I'm going to wipe it down with this towel that I keep nice and handy. Now, I usually wear denim jeans. I'm not wearing them today. But there's usually always a little bit of paint stuck on the tip, and wiping it off with a towel is enough. So with denim, you can actually just wipe it across your leg and it's enough to pull that paint off the tip. If not, you can get like a little scrubby pad and that'll easily remove it. Just wipe it down a couple times. Now I have the needle out of the gun. I'll put that needle down. I'm going to take this carburetor cleaner and shoot it into the back of the gun. And as I'm doing that, I'm obviously running the air so it runs through the entire airbrush. Then I'll get the trigger area, again running air. And then lastly, I'll get it right in where the paint goes. And that's really it. Unless you got dried paint in there, that's all it's gonna take. It's amazing stuff. And then I put it back together. For a stubborn clog, you may have to take the airbrush apart. But I can feel it's like, when I push that needle in, you can feel the little tap like it was a new airbrush, and there's nothing in there. Tighten that up, and then I'll rinse it out. This residue, this carburetor cleaner evaporates pretty cleanly. It's like alcohol. It evaporates very quickly, as a matter of fact. It's not great to breathe in, I gotta admit. You may want to wear a respirator or have a fan, or better yet, work outdoors, because it will atomize this carburetor cleaner pretty well. When you're running it through an airbrush, it's probably not good for your lungs. So after that, I'm just assembling my airbrush. I give it a quick wipe because I'll probably have a little bit of airbrush cleaner on the outside, which is good because it's going to take all the dried paint off. And then I grab my WD-40 and just a little squirt in the trigger. And that makes it work like butter. Work it in there, shake it out, wipe it down. Well, that took less than a minute. I've got 8 guns, so I figure it's going to be taking about 8 to 12 minutes.